Bank switching is back. We've had 3 brand new deals launched last week from UK banks, and there were already a couple of others hanging around. So I thought this was a good opportunity to take you through the kind of offers, these deals that could earn you up to 150 quid per bank. And if you can combine more than one of these offers, if you haven't done it before, then maybe this could be nearly 300, 400, 500 quid. It is possible to really ramp those together. And if you're in a couple and you've got someone else in the household who could do the same thing, you're looking at doubling that cash again. So I'll take you through these key offers right now. There are 5 at the moment. I'm sure others will come later on. If they do, I'll update you here in the channel, plus over on becleverwithyourcash.com, which is my blog. I have an ultimate guide to all different bank switching offers. Check that every single day. So if new ones come along, you'll find that information there. Plus, I will have detailed analysis of all of the deals I'm talking about right now. I'll link to all of this below. Let's kick off then with the Natwest offer. This is the highest paying one right now. This is £150. Unlike the offer that Natwest ran last year, which was up to 150 quid, basically they broke it into 2 portions. £100 to switch in, £50 if you stayed for a year and jumped through loads of hoops. Now it's just a single £150 payment. That is yours. Do this, a few simple steps, you will get that money in your account. You do have to wait a little while. I'll come to that in a second. So this one is open to new and existing customers, but there's a very, very important caveat here. You cannot have had a Natwest or RBS switching offer since October 17. Okay, if you had money from either of those banks for switching since that date, you are ruled out. Well, let's assume you are eligible. Then you've got to open or already have one of 4 different Natwest accounts. It is the Select account, which is a basic free account, doesn't cost you anything. The user reward account, which has some bonuses but a monthly fee. The Reward Silver account and the Reward Platinum account, which come with lots of extras and much higher fees. I would focus here just on the Select account or the Reward account. The Reward account's not bad for giving you some extra cash throughout the year and access to a digital saver. But the other 2, I wouldn't bother with at all. If you just want to switch and keep switching, maybe just go for the Select account, it's dead account, and then get another offer later on. So let's say you've got that account, you've applied for it, you've opened it, you've already got it. You've got a couple of deadlines you've got to meet after this. First of all, it is that switch itself. You've got to start that switch by the 7th of April 2022 at 5 p.m. on that day. If you do it after this, then you won't get the offer. Okay, so make sure you start that switch, and it's got to be a full switch. Okay, a full switch means you close down the old account you're switching from, and importantly, it has to be at a different bank. It cannot be a Natwest account, and that's going to be the same for all the other ones I talk about in this video. You do that, you then got a second deadline to meet, and that is the 12th of May 2022. You've got to pay in £1,250 by that date. That can be in a lump sum, it can be small amounts. It does not have to stay in the account. You can go in, come straight out again. Doesn't matter, but as long as it's there by the 12th of May. And you've also got to have logged into your online or app banking by that same date. Incidentally, you do have to start this switch from the Natwest website or the Natwest app. Okay, so you can't go into the bank to do this. It is an online only one. Do all of that, and you will get that money by the 9th of June. So a bit of a long wait. If you start it now in February, that's a long time, but potentially you could start it in April, get that money within just 2 months. The next one to talk about is another new one, and let's talk about the one from Santander. This is worth 140 quid, so 10 quid more than the offer they ran last year. So getting better, they've got that competition's there, they want your business, £140. Now this one, once again, is open to new and existing customers for a couple of accounts, either a 123 or 123 Lite, and every day a Select or a private account. I would focus here on 1 or 2 accounts here, either a Select account, which is the basic bog standard one that you can use to switch again, or the 123 Lite, which has a fee, but if you're, as long as you're paying the bills in your house, you will get cash back. Again, I've got a video on that if you want more information. You can do that, open up an account or have an account, and as long as you haven't had a switching offer from them before, then you are going to be eligible for this. Okay. So what do you have to do then? Well, we don't know when this is going to end. There is no set deadline for this. If you really want to get it, you might want to act sooner rather than later. I'd imagine it'll stick around for a couple of months, but it could be pulled at any time. Once you have started that switch, again, from an external bank, it can't switch from an existing Santander account, you need to set up 2 direct debits. Now, if you're an existing customer and already have direct debits on your account, that's fine. You don't need new ones, but if you've opened up an account brand new, then you need to put up some on there. Obviously, you can switch to direct debits on from your old account if they're sitting on there, that's fine. You've got to pay money into this one as well. You've got to pay in £1,000. Again, it can be in small amounts or a lump sum, and it doesn't have to stay there. And you also have to log into the app or online banking. You have to do all of that within the first 60 days. After that time, they'll process it and they say you'll get your money around 90 days later after starting that switch. When I did this back in September, I got the money really, really fast, much sooner than that. So maybe get that money in, get those direct debits in, log into the app as soon as you can. You might get lucky and get that cash much sooner than 90 days. Now, there's one little bit of annoyance here, which you can work around. On the terms and conditions, it says that if you're an existing customer, you have to go into a branch to make this switch happen. I didn't have time for that. I didn't want to do that. Some people, some listeners and readers of the blog, they got in touch, they did it over the phone. So you could always give that a go. But what I did was I already had a 123 Lite account. I just opened up one of their everyday accounts. Really simple to do. Did that, started the switch, did the things I needed to do, got the money. Now I've got this account. I'm not using it. I don't need it. I'm going to use that next time a switching offer comes along and move off straight away. Nice little workaround rather than having to faff around going into branch. Now, the other one that launched this week is from Virgin Money. Now, they tend to change up their deals every 3 or 4 months. And this one is the first time they've done anything like this. And it's quite interesting if you're keen to get the best rate on your savings. What they're going to offer right now is a £100 Virgin Experience voucher, which I'm not necessarily sold on as being decent value for money, but it's worth having a look at their website if there's things you're going to use it on. But they're also giving you 5% interest for 1 year. Now, actually, how this works out, the Virgin Money M Plus current account already gives you 2.02% interest on your first grand, and that's variable rate, but in theory that's ongoing, it's not going to change. This switching offer will give you a 3% bonus on top of that is fixed for a year. So let's assume that underlying rate stays at 2.02%, it is at 5.02% over a year, and then let's assume you have the full £1,000 saved in there, that's worth £50.20. Now that is an interest rate you cannot beat anywhere else, but obviously it's only available to you if you are a new customer, and only if you have £1,000 saved in there are you going to get that full value. But even so, I think it's worth considering, particularly if you haven't taken advantage of this one before. So how do you get this one? Well, as I said, you have to be a new Virgin Money customer, although if you had left them before November 2021 and you haven't had one of their switching offers before, then you will be eligible to open up a new account and switch into it and get the bonus. This one does have some terms and conditions as well on top of that, as they all do. For this one, you have to put £1,000 into a linked M Plus Savers account. So not that main account that pays 5.02%. It's a separate one that pays 0.35%. So to make the most of this one, you kind of need £2,000 up front. Otherwise, you're going to be losing out the value of that 5% interest. That money doesn't have to stay in that second account though. As soon as you've got the bonus, you can take that out, but you do have to have that £1,000 in there for roughly around, it depends how quickly you can do it, but let's say it could be a couple of weeks, could be a month. You also have to transfer or set up 2 direct debits, and they have to remain active until you get that that voucher from Virgin Experience, and you have to again use the old switch service and switch from a bank from a different bank. Do all of that and you'll get all that voucher within around 14 days of meeting the criteria, hopefully. So again, you potentially can get that pretty fast. Again, not a huge fan of that voucher as an option, but the interesting is really interesting. Excuse the pun there. Let's move on to a couple which are still sticking around. They've been around for a while. Could go anytime, but hopefully not. The best one of these, I would say, is from Nationwide, because you can potentially get this twice. In fact, if you are in a couple, there's 3 times you can get this, because not only can you get them individually for solo accounts, you can also get it for a joint account. So if there are 2 of you and you both have a joint account and 2 solo accounts that you can switch, that might be £375 you can get. I should say here importantly, it's up to £125 per switch. It's only £100 if you're not an existing Nationwide customer, but that's easy to work around. All you have to do is open up a simple savings account online with them. Don't have to put any money in it, maybe a penny, a pound, whatever it is. You can take the money out again, but that makes you a Nationwide customer. Then you get 125 quid rather than 100 quid. I think it's worth it for the 5 minutes that will take you to set that up. And you've also already got your online banking, you're ready to move if you do that. So how does this one work? Well, it is open to new and existing customers, which is great. So I actually took advantage of the new solo account and a joint account, and my wife, she had a solo account as well already, and we got that 375 quid. But again, if you're brand new, don't have any accounts, you can just open up new ones if you want to. You do have to transfer 2 direct debits from the previous account. And I must importantly say here, the accounts which are valid for are the Flex Plus, the Flex Direct, and the Flex account. I would say for most of you, you may want to look at the just standard Flex account. The Flex Direct is interesting in lots of ways. I've got a review of it. It's very good if you've got an overdraft, in fact. But the interest rate on it isn't fantastic. I would hold off because you can only get their boosted interest rate for 12 months. So let's wait and see if that increases, that improves before you do that. So go maybe for the Flex account here. And again, another account you can switch if you want to. You have to switch, again, using that current account switching service. Really important one on this one though, the switch has to complete within 30 days. So make sure when you do that application, you start that switch, you can choose the date, it is within 30 days. And you also need to make sure the direct debits on that account have gone out of the previous account before you switch. So you've got to factor that in. If you don't already have direct debits on the account you're switching from, get them set up before you start that switch over. Make sure that finishes, that money has come out of the account. Now, I've got a whole video, an article taking you through some fast direct debits you can set up on your account if you haven't got them, which will help you with that. And very simple, you'll get that money within 10 days of that switch completion. So very, very fast. You potentially could do this one, get the money, and then look at either of the Santander or the Natwest ones that I've already mentioned. Get them really, really fast and double up again. Now, the last one to tell you about is from First Direct. They are offering £130 right now. They generally run an offer all the time. Values can go up and down. Maybe it can disappear for a day or two. At the moment, 130 quid. This one is open only to new customers. And very importantly here, you can never have had a First Direct account in the past. So this is one of the few banks I've never been able to get a switching bonus from because I already had an account from them. I've not been eligible. Maybe that will change, but let's see. The other criteria that's really important here is you can't have opened HSBC accounts since the 1st of January 2019. So it's not just First Direct accounts, it's HSBC accounts as well. For this one, you have to pay in £1,000 within 3 months of opening the account and switch using that current account switching service, close the old account as you would. So relatively simple ones to do, no direct debits, no standing orders, just pay £1,000 in within 3 months. And within 28 days of meeting that criteria, you'll get that 130 quid. Don't forget, details of all of these over at becleverwithyourcash.com. And if you want to find out what I think are the best bank accounts in 2022, make sure you check out this video. Until next time, my name is Andy Webb. Thanks for watching.